I think it's working.
I think we fixed it. Welcome. We made it. Almost didn't happen. Strapped in for a bumpy ride, but we're here. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
A
Hello.
little delayed, true Mercury retrograde style.
That was just Ted's sports talk. Did y'all miss it?
I did
Wasn't it
sports
great?
and it was awesome.
Yeah, that was
I
Ted,
filled in
like,
for
10 minutes.
Ted. I knew all the names. It was
It was
amazing.
so good.
I know. No, so fun fact, the new OBS update that I usually say no, but I was working late last night and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been meaning to do this update. I'm sure I would have heard if it caused a problem with any of the 1,000 million plugins I use. I would have heard about it by now. I'm sure it's fine. And then it just, I don't know, it just did not work. So thank goodness we know somebody that's like, oh, I know how to work GitHub. I can get you that last version. So the time to correct and right the ship was a lot faster, thanks to Joe Palmy. You saved the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
got
I
a
was
little
like-
open source software.
I was like, well, this is going to take me all day to find the old version to re-download. You guys want to do a Twitter space? And Joe's like, it'll just be in GitHub. Like, okay. I appreciate it. Big love. And yes, I broke it. Let's see if I got the chat working. All of the windows, we had to shut down everything in order to upload the old download to thing. So let's see if I can get the chat up here. Maybe. Yep. Maybe. I'm just not being patient enough with it now.
I'll just read the chat for you in their native voices.
Okay, how do you think Marie Penny sounds when she says oops, Luga?
Oops.
Oops.
Dang, updates.
What about this one?
Which one?
Ice Age.
Oh, Ice Age? Good day, fellow Algo Indians.
That's totally what it sounds like.
I think that's
For
what a
sure.
Yeti would say.
Well, we're here. I appreciate you guys. Lassie's here. Meg's here. Thanks for hanging out. Joe is bursting at the seams with dev updates. He's just like, I'm sure there's so much going on. I'm going to go find all the windows I shut down in case of emergency. And we're going to start it off with DevStone, if that sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Let's go, Joe.
Saving the day yet again. I love it.
There we go. Okay. All right, everyone. So gonna do an update a little bit on some of the things that we've been working on. A lot of this stuff is stuff we've kind of talked about a little bit before, and some new stuff as well. So I'll start off with the new stuff. So right now, we at the foundation are exploring ways to make it easier for ourselves, like within the foundation, all the engineers, but also externally to test incentives before they hit mainnet, right? So the idea is that we're going to have this really cool new feature, incentives, that will pay node runners to participate in the network and propose blocks. But of course, we also want to test that before it goes live on mainnet. And particularly, we want to be able to test it with things like the Ready staking platform. So the platform that Transaction Labs is making so that anyone can delegate stake and participate in consensus without having to run their own node. So being able to test those things requires a network that actually has incentives enabled. So we've been exploring, running our own network and learning a lot of things doing that. But hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll have a little bit more public announcements about how you can get involved in that testing process and maybe test out Ready and some other staking options. So that is something to look forward to. And then one other thing that we've been focusing on in general, as we announced in Decipher, we are officially bringing TypeScript to Algo Kit. So one of the things we're working on is getting what we call feature parity. So making sure that all the features in Python are in TypeScript and vice versa. And the idea here is that as a developer, you come to Algorand and you just say, I like Python, I like TypeScript, and you can start building. You don't need to learn all the differences. You don't need to learn a new language like Solidity. You just use a language that you already know. And the only difference is, the language that you prefer writing in. And so this is going to make it even easier for developers to get onboarded. Millions of developers know Python. Millions of developers also know TypeScript. So we're going to have a bunch of developers that are going to be able to approach Algorand in a way that they haven't really before with TypeScript. And TypeScript is particularly exciting because it's what web browsers use. So basically any crypto app that has a website is already using TypeScript or JavaScript. And so this is a technology that a lot of people know and already are using in Web3 apps. So it's going to be very, very exciting to see what lowering these barriers of entry enable developers to build, because that's ultimately the goal. And in general, one thing we've been working on is small improvements to the developer experience. So obviously, Python, TypeScript, these are big headlight items that make it easier to attract developers. But we're also working on adding features like being able to test contracts easier, so you can hopefully deploy to mainnet without any vulnerabilities, or exploits or anything like that. And so just small stuff like that, really catering to the developers, figuring out what they need and delivering on that. That's really been the name of the game with AlgoKit. And in addition to just building things on AlgoKit, as we've expanded our engineering team over at the foundation, we have also been spending a little bit more time looking into the protocol. So not just thinking about how we can improve the tooling for Algorand, but how can we actually improve Algorand itself and improve the protocol and make life easier for both developers and users. So we've been thinking about things like how fees work, how opt-ins work. And so nothing substantive to share yet, but it is very exciting that the foundation is now starting to dedicate resources R&Ding into the protocol itself. So definitely stay tuned for more updates on that. And in particular, as we expand our engineering team, I'm sure we'll have more and more exciting things to come. And a lot of the protocol efforts has been led by D13, who, of course, you guys all know, recently came to the foundation. And he has been a very valuable asset in helping us understand, the protocol itself and just organizing our engineering team and just in general contributing to Algorand in an even more official, formal way now. So that's been great. But yeah, that is, I think, everything on my end. Just wanted to give quick updates on some of the things we're working on. Right now, as we start working on more interesting and harder problems, they take longer to actually implement. And of course, we're still working on Liquid Auth as well. But as we get more closer and closer to releasing these, a little bit less exciting to talk about because it's a little bit slower because these are challenging engineering problems. But hopefully, you guys are excited for these updates as I am. And in particular, really can't wait to get our hands on incentives and to see how people like being able to test that. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I'll give you updates on that. But until then, I'll hand it back to you, IRL.
Thanks. Well, I gotta say, there's always a lot of announcements and a lot of stuff going, and you guys are a lot of your work's over my head, but then I appreciate the benefits of it later on, which is cool. So I can say, I think I saw an official announcement about Liquid Auth in Use Wallet this week. That was something that kind of went against the current of just great news, market and action wise, right, that we saw this week. The announcement on Liquid Auth is really exciting. And then coming off of that dev event that you guys did, we are devs, I think, right? Did I get it that time? All right. I think that's that's all stuff that is exciting, that is new and is fresh. It's not like that same friction point and kind of approaching it the same way. It's like totally something new and a fresh way to approach the friction points that we all feel. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to see what that sandbox environment looks like for this incentivization and the testing. But I'm also excited because I know I'll know about it because of you. So gotta say that helps just a little bit. Let's see. What else do we have today? I'm gonna try to talk sports. Who else has been watching the Olympics?
I've been
You know I'm
following
on
a
it.
bit.
Olympics. You have? We all can do sports then. Oh, this is even better.
I have not. So sorry. I don't qualify.
Oof.
Oh, that's okay. You can tell us. You can fill in my role. I usually am the one that I'm like, is that really real? You know. So, but in honor of Ted, I feel like we still need the sports intro. It seems fair,
Understandable.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do sports.
Imagine there's a football being
I did it.
thrown, somebody getting sacked. There's like raining confetti of the championship. Like it's great. Imagination.
works.
I dig it. So I did have queued up the standings as of the last time I checked when I was prepping for the show, but we'll just pull up the current ones again live.
Are we winning again? I feel like we were losing to China.
China had one extra gold medal at last check on top of what we had. I was just going to see if I could pull up.
I saw a
I can
screenshot the other day of like when we tied China, and then it was like less than an hour later before China was 2 more goals ahead. And it was just like, y'all hilarious. You're like trying to snapshot our wins. Like, even though
So
we
I've
have,
been watching some good stuff. I found out watching surfing really probably isn't for me unless it's on a
Really?
replay.
okay.
It was a bit at times it felt like Olympic wave watching.
Oh yeah, yeah, true, because they're waiting so long for the good waves. Like,
And I don't know what a good wave is and what a bad wave is. I'm like, that one looked awesome. And they like both didn't want anything to do with it. So, you know,
yeah.
I will say those people have an insane amount of bravery because those rocks and that coral reef, they were standing in like an ankle's worth of water out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it was they're brave.
That's wild.
Good.
It's weird to me like how far off the like shoreline they actually were.
Right.
But they were still like the shore, and I'm like, couldn't even tell what I was looking at for a minute. I had no idea.
I didn't realize until I saw one stand up exactly how shallow that water was right in front of the judges.
Yeah. You better bail out at the right time.
And then it looked almost impossible to get back out. So I don't blame them for wanting to sit on their boards. I thought it was good. I watched the women's basketball team get the bronze on the 3-on-3, and that was okay. I watched our American pole vaulter get silver.
Ooh.
That was good. Obviously, we've been loving the gymnastics. You've been watching the gymnastics at your house?
Oh, yeah. It's been great.
Joe, what's been your cup of tea for this Olympics so far?
Mostly I've been watching beach volleyball. Both the men's and the women's has had a lot of very interesting games. And I haven't really followed beach volleyball before, but it's a really fun sport to watch because it's very like easy to follow. Yeah. And like each point is like a whole game in itself. It's really cool.
Their recovery is insane. It's like, you know, a gigantic box. You got 2 humans. You're still like sprinting through sand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I watched the 2-on-2 versus Canada. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could never play beach volleyball in those outfits. Canada, looking at you there. But it was so cool to see that team. I'm trying to think of their names now. And it's Nuss and I'm terrible with sports names, you know.
Yeah,
somebody else. I've got someone in my sports. Anyways, It was a tall and a short team, and they were just super cute. Their vibes were awesome. Like, they were friends first, and then they were like, we're going to be in the Olympics, but they didn't know how to be they weren't like an established pair yet in volleyball. And you can't just be like, hey, I want to play the Olympics. Like, you have to qualify in a lot of meets and have standing and stuff. And they hadn't really played enough to have that standing as a pair. It was pretty cool to see. Bummed to watch them lose to Canada, who has like way less beaches than us. I feel like that.
Right? How is Canada good at beach volleyball? You have 3 weeks of summer total.
The pole vaulters, the cross kayaking.
Oh, I missed that.
Have you seen that? Nobody? You haven't watched
No.
no cross? Oh my gosh. It's like the show Wipeout, but in a kayak.
Oh,
I don't know. They
yeah,
like
man.
drop in
Yeah.
with the kayaks, and then they have to go and hit different, kind of like a slalom skier. They have to hit different points.
Yeah.
But the points are like these padded things that move around, and I watched them get stuck in their kayaks. It gave me anxiety just watching it all happen, just being covered in water. It looked intense. The cross kayak was surprisingly interesting to me, and it just really made me think, like, there's like Luga, I thought you could do the bouldering, right? Or like the speed climb, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I know somebody who can do that. Wave watching, sitting on a board in the water is about, I mean, the pole vaulters got 20 feet up in the air.
It was unreal. Yeah.
Using a stick. The girls doing like 2 and 3 times around launches with no hands and then landing, just, it's insane. I have been astounded, and our kids have had a really great time. We've had a really great time cheering, obviously, for USA, but also just like hearing the different athlete stories and celebrating the very regular people that are these Olympic athletes. Like, most of them have a job or 2 in some cases. It's just been really cool, like, to feel like you're rooting on the humanity side of that. So I'm all about the Olympics.
Yeah. It's great.
Feely's got the hiccups.
I'm burping my barbacoa taco I had before the show.
Right before the
Taco
show started.
Tuesday.
I was frantically slamming keys on a keyboard, and Feely's just cool as a cucumber, a hammer and a taco, because it's Taco Tuesday. It was awesome. I'm just thinking, I thought they were fantastic. Hello. Maureen Denny, there was a speed walking competition. Did you guys do
Okay,
speed
Luca
walking?
Flex.
Oh, I think I did. And didn't like the girl in the lead like got all cocky and then second place passed her like right before
That
like,
face.
oh,
But
no.
then what is a run and what is a walk? And like, you can run for like a little bit of the speed walk.
I think
Um,
one foot has to be on the ground at all times. So like however fast you can hit the next foot before lifting off the other one.
Oh.
You can't have both feet in the air. Is the rule. And there's
Okay.
a trained watcher with binoculars. I don't know about that part, but I'm pretty sure I read about the first part.
This is great. Ted's going to watch this back and be shouting all the names that I'm just like throwing out the sports. I was like, hey, I watched this guy get this one. And so, yeah, we obviously love the girls gymnastics team, but we were impressed by the guys too, I got to say. And then we watched some of the track and field. We have some fast runners too. I was proud of our U.S. sprinters. They have been killing it. So I don't know. That's your sports section. I think as of right now, where are we here for medal counts? Yeah, no. The medal count.
Gold. But 79 total, yo. 79
Yep, China
total.
we have 79 total medals, but China currently has 22 gold, and we have 21. But this medal count looks like it's pretty accurate from happening right now to happening 10 minutes before we went live. So I think that's your sports.
Pick who you think is going to win climbing.
Oh yeah, say that again, because I did the little sports outro, even though our monitor is broken. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
You
I'm
do.
doing
You have a giveaway.
for whoever is guesses the winners of the men's and women's climbing. So I only have 2
I
participants.
couldn't find
right
the
now.
list. I
Give a
looked.
chance.
I went on that website. I couldn't find the list of the people's names.
Oh yeah, it was hard to link. Sorry.
No, I just,
Yeah.
if you're thinking low participation, I liked retweeted and then thought about just putting up a USA flag. And then I thought that might be stupid if we don't have any.
I mean, I'll give it to you. Yeah, we have the most contestants of any country, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yay.
So every country
Okay.
can send 2 men and 2 women, and we were the only country to have 4 people qualify.
Wow.
Actually, 6, 8. We had 4 speed climbers as well. I don't really pay attention to speed, but
I gotta say, I've been impressed with the number of things I've gone to watch and we've been competing in. There's a really cool range of them. I watched ladies surfer win gold from the U.S.
oh, cool.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
That's pretty cool. I
It
will
is
say
pretty
America
cool.
probably won't medal in climbing. I mean, they might. They might. It's gonna be a fight.
Well, you didn't make the Olympic team, so
I wouldn't.
I'm telling you, forget the Olympics. I'm like, you need to be a Ninja Warrior. My kids want to see that happen. It'd be good for the chain.
Do it.
It would be so bad. Like I would maybe make it an obstacle in. Like
I
I
think
can't even tell you.
So much fun, and you have such good levels of energy that I don't know. I think you might be the surprise upset wild card there.
Maybe.
And then we'd all moon because everybody would be hearing about Algorand and the
I would
Algo
just do it
Man
shirtless with
Ninja.
the A on my chest and on my back.
Yeah, but Algorand Speedo too. They'd be like, "What's that A?
Could
What is?"
do that.
I'm trying to think if I've seen people compete in the Speedo before, but
Yeah,
I have
that's
been
okay.
shocked about what people can compete. It's such a high level and focusing on something other than the very clear wedgie that they have.
Yeah.
It's been astounding. I can tell you my husband's been watching it and going, how can they see with those eyelashes? Or don't those nails get in the way? All those crystals, they must weigh a lot. Like I bet they'd jump higher if they didn't have all those secrets. So that's the take here on the homestead from the hubs on
I do worry about earrings. I feel like training at that level, you're
necklaces.
gonna totally lose an earring at some point.
Everybody's wearing necklaces. Yeah. My daughter noticed a sprinter's belly button ring. I was like,
Oh, that's bold. I guess that's right.
Brave.
it's totally right. I think you can do what you want. And if you're the world's best gymnast or the world's 5th best gymnast and you want to have long nails, you do you.
Probably know what you're doing.
Like,
Yeah.
you go.
I was in gymnastics for a while and I had my earrings on and it ripped off and it tore my earlobe. It's still
Ooh.
torn. So it was a hard lesson to learn. So
Yeah.
if they're wearing
Yeah.
jewelry, like they must got balls.
Yeah. Woo.
Feely's now perfected the let me take my hoops out move.
It's a cute clip-on, a little clippy because my ear hole.
I love
like
that.
It
My
ripped it
daughter
out.
wears clip-ons. I'm all about it. I take it.
Yeah.
All right. So Lassie's thinking of names for you. Lord Ninja Algo?
Ninjalgo.
Ninjago.
I mean, I would just have to be Beluga, right?
Lassie says she can't take a shower with her jewelry on. She doesn't know how people can do it competing, which is fair. I'm with you. I don't take my ring off to do the dishes or anything like that because I am so clumsy. I will lose it. So I do just take it off to clean it. It stays on the rest of the time. But
I'll take it off.
all right. So we had a couple flexes. But we also had who's active, and I wanted to give a quick shout out. So we'll just quick pop over to who's active, real quick. We'll just quick beat it there, and then we'll take a look at some flexes. Maybe that's what we'll do. It's possible.
Okay. I guess it is.
I'm coming. Here I am.
I don't even. Am I there? Am I here? Hello, everyone.
You
Welcome
are
to
here.
Who's Active right now.
Can you not see it?
It's
Oh,
me,
I don't.
Lord Ninjalgo.
I never got the monitor put back up. You guys have been totally in the dark, and you have such faith.
Now I have 2 IRLs. Ah! The Clone Wars are happening back here. You don't understand. Felt like I just got incepted. I will do
I'm
Ninja
fixing it.
Warrior.
I'm fixing it. Okay. I think I got it. How's that? Can you see
Okay,
where we
that's
are
better.
now?
Yes, yes. Sorry.
That's totally why the monitor wasn't working. It's because it wasn't
Mm.
on after the
That's why
reboot.
I couldn't
We're
hear.
A for
Too bad.
effort, I tell you.
Only
All
took us
right.
40 minutes into the show to fix it.
Got this. This made me really happy. This is like spark joy. Shaggy Bigfoot and his
Was it the
beautiful
ice
great
caves?
outdoors. Huh?
Was it the ice caves?
I don't think they'd be ice caves. It was spending time swimming in the river with a pup.
Ooh. Now that is how you live
Pups
life.
got a little beard. It's super
That
cute.
is how you do it.
And then the back muscles doing a 70-pound move like butter, don't you know? And you have a
That's cool.
you have a thing coming up, right? Saturday?
I do have a competition Saturday,
Okay.
which I'm not doing like the top categories. There's 4 categories, and I'm doing like
Mhm.
the third, so not quite the like elite level athletes. But I'm gonna be one under it, and if I win, I'll get 300. Which it'll
You
be
can
tight.
do it.
I like
I love that.
weirdly believe I could, but it's also like you pick your category. So there could be somebody who's like really, really good that's just like, I'll just go down a category and win.
And you're
So
gonna make them regret you're gonna make them rue the day that they made that choice.
you messed with the Lord Ninjago.
Yeah, something like that. But I wanted to give props to who did I see here? I'm loving the back muscles, and I like the hearts on your mirror. I hope they're love notes to
They
or
are.
from your
This is a love
kids.
from Valentine's Day. Like,
Why is it not coming up?
adorable.
Somebody medaled. Who was it that I saw medaled in their competition? And now it's not.
Medals in their competition.
Back at last week of August, and we missed it. Oh, this was last year. That's why. Okay. I was like, how did I miss this? That's why. It's from last year.
Scotty Rolls. We need medals.
But you know what? Don't worry, American Sniper. It only took me a year, but I like this. Good job. We're winning here, folks.
You got it.
We're winning. All right, we're going to do StarCast and then NFT Flex time.
Hello. So the aspect I want to talk about today is Mars conjunct Jupiter and Gemini. We are really building up to this conjunction. By this point, by August 7th, tomorrow, Mars is at 12 degrees of Gemini, and Jupiter is already at 15 degrees of Gemini. So that means they hit the 3-degree point around August 7th, August 8th. And as we saw last month, it was that 3-degree range that was really the most potent range when it comes to the Mars Uranus conjunction that happened in the middle of July, like the whole Trump situation. So we could expect something a little similar. So by August 7th, 8th, we are in the Mars conjunct Jupiter land, and it goes to exact on August the 14th. In astrology, when planets are within 3 degrees, it's called an orb. So when it's within 3 degrees, they're acting as one. So they're together acting as one. So some basic keywords for Mars conjoining Jupiter is like bombastic, triumphant, doing all the things and winning here, winning there. Mars takes away the gentle win-win quality of Jupiter, but it keeps the celebratory and triumphant aspects. It's often about celebrating and overcoming challenges, which is why it appears in charts of champions in their natal charts in like competitive sports. So it's a lot of fun if you're on the winning side, bringing a we can do this, like let's get this shit done type of energy. So when I was researching who had the Mars Jupiter conjunction in their natal chart, Tom Brady came up. He has the Mars Jupiter conjunction in Gemini, I believe. I believe it's in Gemini. And he's regarded as the greatest quarterback in American football history. And he is known for his exceptional leadership, his accuracy, and especially his competitiveness, as well as his longevity, having retired at the age of 45. So I thought that was a cool example in terms of athletics, having success in athletics, and having that placement in your birth chart. Some more keywords that are fundamental meanings of Mars is a planet of war, and Jupiter is a planet of peace and expansion. So I think themes of war versus peace are going to come up and be very front and center of the month. So like war and conflict. One of the things I'm concerned about, that Mars conjunct Gemini could be like an expansion of conflict. So there could be, things getting out of control, like Mars becoming exacerbated by Jupiter, which is a potential and is a little bit scary. Like the past few days or week, we saw that Israel assassinated two different people, one in Lebanon and one in Iran, I think. Yeah. So people are getting nervous already about whether that is going to escalate or get out of control in further terms in like war. And tying into that, 4 years ago there was a big explosion that happened in Lebanon, where there was a huge explosion, and they said if not the biggest non-nuclear explosion, and it happened. I think it was in a port in Lebanon, and it happened the day of a Mars Jupiter configuration, which is what's going to happen within the next few days. So sometimes with Mars Jupiter, it can be explosions. Mars is also connected with guns and the military, fighting for things. So fighting in general can sometimes be expanded, and sometimes it can be bad. Expansion of war is probably bad for most people, well, for everybody. But also, it can be used for good things like fighting for justice, fighting for some sort of cause, like with optimism, could be the more positive side of Mars and Jupiter coming together. Under certain circumstances, it could be attempting to seek like a peaceful resolution to a conflict, although having tensions between those two things, like one side wants war and the other side wants peace, and how those two reconcile those two conflicting impulses that can sometimes be happening in the same system at the same time, the same person or the same group. So Mars favors bold action and overconfidence, brashness, and like bravado. So I'm expecting that we're going to see a lot of that during the course of this month. Aggressive expansion is a very basic thing with Mars. So certain things happening very quickly during the course of this month, and I think those are going to be the themes that we could expect with Mars and Jupiter and Gemini. Some other things that happened in the past with this same conjunction, one was 10 years ago, and that happened with the death of Osama bin Laden, when the U.S. forces killed him in Pakistan, and that occurred right on a Mars-Jupiter conjunction. I thought that was interesting. And that same day, I forgot what it's called, but this the White House Correspondents' Dinner happened where Obama roasted Trump, and there has been speculation about whether that is in any way like fueled Trump, like his drive to become president, and who knows, like get back in some ways. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Other things that happened close to this conjunction with Mars and Jupiter is the Fukushima nuclear disaster that happened in Japan. There were other things going on in the sky, but this was one of the configurations. Another one was what's his name, Edward Snowden leak, the Edward Snowden leaks, which is very interesting. Which is very interesting because he has a Gemini rising, and Gemini is like all about information. So that was interesting too. Another one is the government spending took place. Obama, I think he had a stimulus package during the Great Recession that he signed into law on like in February of 2009. I think it was the 17th of February. But it was over $7 billion in stimulus, literally the same day of this conjunction. Um, that's another interesting thing. And another thing that happened that's similar, it was March 29th of 2020 when the US Congress passed a stimulus package of $2 trillion during the COVID pandemic. And that was another Mars Jupiter conjunction. That one was in Capricorn. Yeah, so Jupiter here joins, so Jupiter here is forced or like he's required, I call him a he, with great effort because when Mars is involved, it's not like a sort of easy natural Jupiter cycle, right? Because Mars pushes things. Anything that Mars touches, it pushes it. So trying to get things moved, like it's trying to get things moved in another direction. And I'm going to talk about this next week, but with Saturn right there about to meet, any celebratory moments, if any, this month can quickly change into other moments. So enjoy your wins if you get them. But with Saturn, these wins are they're not gonna echo through eternity, because we have an ice bath coming with Saturn. But Saturn is playing a big role. Saturn cycles are historical. Jupiter conjunct Saturn happens every 20 years, and it last happened in 2020. So it's 2024, and we are a quarter in officially. So 1 quarter into this 2 decade time period, and it began dramatically in the last days of 2020 when the pandemic happened. So something about that conjunction is being revisited in the first quarter square. So Saturn and Jupiter are going to have a conversation, and whatever Saturn and Jupiter agree on is what the world is going to look like. Because Saturn is the cold, old, stern man in astrology. It's all about timing, Saturn, and it's also here to teach us lessons. So, I mean, we can all agree that we are in a very different place than where we were in December 2020. And it's not very clear where we're going. And we aren't even like in halftime yet. But some of the seeds that were planted in 2020 are going to start to sprout. And at this point, the results that were started, both good and bad, in 2020 will start to ripen and start to bear fruit. But yeah, so stay tuned for next week's segment because I'm going to talk about Saturn a bit more. I don't have time for that today. But yeah, thanks for joining. Back to you, sis.
I'm here, and we're going to roll right into flex time because why not? Woo! All right, so I didn't want to let this get by us. NFT flex time, something you gotta make time for, even when your OBS crashes. So the DC Perp Broken Hearts gang is getting a little pixely. It's pretty cool, and we've had a bunch of people post up for flex time. I have followed like 3 or 4 new people. It's been incredible. So let's just give them a minute, let them have their moment with this broken heart. There's a couple here. Taco's got a gully. It's a pretty gully, yeah. In honor of football preseason starting this weekend. Go Pack. Taco Tuesday for Feely.
Mm-hmm.
Lassie. Shitty Kitty. I want you to know.
Love a good pirate.
Shitty Kitty's got a good message too. Kind of love a good pirate. A pirate with a magic wand.
I think it's just a stick. It's like a whipping stick. You know?
Much more violent. Gotcha.
Weapons will increase until morale improves, you know?
Cat Una says new friend from Yielding. Okay. And a new cranium from Vlad. Very cool.
Stitch told me I'm a gun show right there, too. Not that it matters, but
it was a big moment. You deserved it, too.
It's huge for me.
yeah, there's a couple great new follows from the DC Perp handle. So shout out to them. I appreciate always finding new people who are into the space. It's good. Corey's got the #1 broken buddy.
What? Is that a thing? They have
I didn't know
ranks?
broken buddies were a thing, but nothing
Oh, yeah, you
better
can get them in
than
the Broken
basic
Hearts
and
Discord.
DC Perp together. I like it. Broken heart buddy. Okay, Corey, I'm jelly. You win. Is that the same Mac has Mac? Is that Mac?
That's
Mac
Mac
Daddy
Daddy.
92?
Was Mac from poker? Okay.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
The Corey Shirley was just such like a normal name, and yeah, he's like Big Mac Daddy or something on the poker table. It took me a while to put 2 and 2 together. Max in the chat going, yes, that's me. That's me. All right. I think at one point, Lassie also says it's a walking stick. He's algo active. Let's not pervert that into something meaner or more violent. It's a walking
What do you think
stick.
you use a walking stick for, IRL?
Not a whipping
To keep
stick.
people with you so that they keep going. No, we have 6 more miles.
Oh man. I really like this, and I'm legit a little jelly of Mac on this. Algo is here with a wizard.
Wow,
This
not
was a
the
new
snake.
follow
You know
for
what?
me.
Aw, cool.
Spidey Pixie Joshua for Christ 66. You
I
were a
like
new
that.
follow for me today. Appreciate the shout out for Algo Hour. It was very cool. DC Perp's getting people to work today. This one's scary, but I still love it.
Okay.
This is
I'd
my
like to play a game,
premiere
IRL.
piece from this collection. No frills, McGill's. I like the case that it's his premiere piece. I dig it. Jeremiah showing off some cool pieces from the GF Broken Discord. DC Perp makes this all happen. We love DC Perp. Another broken heart. This one's cool. At a quick glance, you might miss that it's a broken heart. That's very neat. Quilt. Time to show off my Perdoodles Dragons. Dragons. Gen 1 for NFT Flex. I'm in Algo Hour. I have a Gen 1 that I love and will probably never sell unless Zeus offers me an insane amount of Algo for it. The Gen 1 was really great on this. Back when we had a small creators discount. Also, shout out to Perdoodles, who was is now Stacy's
Banner?
banner. Thank you.
Yeah.
Couldn't
That was
think of that word.
impressive.
It's a tricky word.
It's hard. There's a lot going on.
Banner's a
I mean,
hard
you're
one.
still trying to figure out how to say dragon.
But banner totally got me. But yes, congrats. You made Stacy
Yeah,
Warden's
good.
banner, which is pretty cool. I mean, I
I
keep
like
my banner
Stacey
for a
plays
long
ball,
time.
you know?
I like,
She's
yeah.
so cool. And her
It's
Twitter
a
bio
perfect
is hilarious.
I don't think I've read it recently.
It was like something like, I'll never say anything racist. Like, just still,
Really?
you know, going back to when she got hacked.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Okay. Sticking with it. In DC per King of the Broken Hearts and the NFT Flex time today, I'm showing off the windscreen for my new Broken Journey Hunt bot in the GF Broken Discord. Now you can send Broken Hearts, gems, and Broken Buddies on journeys to find prizes, including Coop, Barb, and much more. You should try it. That's his sneaky way of sneaking in an ad there. Just
Yeah.
type it all out, and then I
Idiot.
read it instinctively.
He
All right,
dominated
here's
the
my flex. This is why we're here, right? Is to see my awesome flex. No, I'm kidding, but I think
She's great.
I like her. So it's got Han background, Ruma Han. It was that has a collab background trait. And then yeah, I'm gonna have to find a red tank top and whip out the old blazer and try to do like Luga did and recreate it.
Do it. Yeah, get a
Cut a
bang.
bang. I'm not cutting bangs.
Do it. Come on, commit to the
Bailey
bit.
could do it. I can't. I can't do it. But
cut my bangs.
Yeah, I can't rock the bangs, but there's not another long dark haired one that's the closest, except for the Santa hat one, which I totally want to buy. But like paying $70 for one trait or 70 algo for one trait. I'm like,
78. Algo is $7 right now.
I know it's for one trait. You know how much money I've spent on my
$7.
Raven collection already? I know. Okay.
I will send it to you. What do you want? 70 algo?
Just buy it and send me the hair.
Oh, that's fine. All right. Okay, that makes more sense.
Because that's the problem is like, I'm like, oh, I should do that. But what I did is I spent 300 algo on 2 bases that were like already made up. So I got a bunch of different traits and stuff.
Ooh,
It was the better
yeah.
buy, but I still really wanted the hair, like.
Okay, and you were like, I'm 600 AD, but can't drop another 7.
I literally just did, yeah. So, I'm trying to be responsible. I'll get it one way or another. What'll happen is Sheck will just increase the price the closer we get to Christmas. The longer I wait to buy it.
Oh, Sheck owns it? Oh,
I'm
Sheck
sure
owns
he
it?
does.
Just give it to you.
I'm
What are
sure
you doing,
he does.
Sheck? Stop being greedy. What would Santa do?
It just, the hair looks the most like my hair out of all of the Project Ravens, but I don't want to wear a Santa hat all year long. So,
You have to.
First
If you buy
world
the other
problems.
piece, you have to.
We can call it a wrap for today, but it's been
We have
fun.
Hey, if you want IRL.
What?
I actually did something for you today.
What did you do for me today? Oh, crap. I forgot. Let's do that.
You completely forgot that.
I did. I don't know. Okay, you know what? I'm clearly on my A game.
I mean, we're retrograding. We're as retro as possible.
We're retrograding hard. And honestly, it's like very like me to kind of just get so like to skim over stuff, because if you look too hard, especially with the drama lately, I'm like, I'm just happy as saying GM. Like, here's an afternoon pick me up. Go Algo Active Outdoors. Like, gotta pick and choose my happy stuff.
Yeah, my timeline is like so pure. I like often miss it. I have to go to like my chats to find it. But it's great.
Man, it's rare, more rare than a unicorn, I think. And I will admit, I copied and pasted these, but did not read them.
I mean, that wouldn't help you anyway.
Let's see. I'm gonna move it over here today.
All right, we're starting off with the Australian. I only eat fuel. I can lift an entire mule with a paper hand tax and an ASA with hacks. I need more. That's a tough one.
It's about an ASA.
It's an ASA.
We just said I was ignoring the drama. Okay,
There's no drama with this one. I can tell.
Mooj.
Lassie.
I thought Lassie was having a stroke, and that was not the answer. I was like, legit a little weird. I was like, Mooj.
Having a stroke of genius buying
what is this?
Rocket fuel.
I was like, Mooj. All right, the little's got a hold of her keyboard. That's of course that is the answer with that rhyme.
The picker is Mooj. I should have rhymed with Mooj. That might get a double limerick.
All right, what's up? Oh, no.
Oh.
All right.
Please ignore the cause. This thing has no pause. Made as a test, moves without rest. The biggest forehead is
Jaws. I know
Jaws.
Okay.
Did you see the forehead thread? I thought that was hilarious.
I totally liked and retweeted it just to get it more likes, because I was literally thinking, like, how big can they go? And then they just put him in outer space, and his forehead was like all,
it was like
bigger than the Milky Way.
Fantastic.
I mean,
that has to be J-Hole, right? Like that's J-Hole.
I don't know. I think
it's either J-Hole or Joe. Tell us, Joe.
I don't know. I don't have the insider information on the.
You don't know who's making the forehead?
No, I do not.
Here, I thought you were a senior level employee. Sheesh.
Wow. You're probably like doing work instead of trolling on Twitter.
Yep. He totally probably has no idea what we're talking about.
No, I did. I did see that thread earlier.
I was going to say, you better know what we're talking about and go like that thing. If you haven't seen that thread, you should find it and like it.
It's very worth it. Okay, the last one. You can't buy these at the mart. Brought together, but torn apart. Look for the clubhouse. Hunt like a small mouse. You're never alone with a.
I know this one too. It's
Look at
a
you,
broken
Ira.
heart. Yeah.
You got 2 limericks. When do
I
you
got
ever get a
2.
break?
And I normally read them in advance, like while I'm copying and pasting them in and doing all my stuff, but I have been a little stretched lately, as evidenced by my superior production. But so I didn't actually read them today. I was like, oh, I'll be surprised. I'm sure they're great, or I'm sure they rhyme, or I'm sure they're not offensive. You're a pretty good guy. So I
You
don't
never know. That could have been there on you.
yeah. So and they make me happy. So that's a great way to end the show. I love a good limerick. Look at this. Smile.
Cheesing.
All right.
Going
Everybody
hard.
keep your head up. Make good choices. Everyone's back next week, maybe even Ted too.
Ooh. Ted 2 or Ted 1? Also.
Ted 1 also. And don't overinvest. Don't invest in anything you can't lose. It's not financial advice. It's like well-being advice. Stay safe out there, friends. That's it. Any final thoughts, anyone else, or should we just roll the credits? Call it good.
Roll
Thanks for
it.
the IT help today, Joe. We love you. Okay, bye.